Hi, this is Keegan Mold with Tough Trikes LLC, and I wanted to show you some of the differences and considerations between the original Tough Trike and the Comp Trike. So here I've got an original Tough Trike. A few things have changed since this. This was a prototype model. This is the first tandem version. So you can see the tandem attachment tube up here. This has moved back a little bit farther for those who want to have the tandem attachment. And it's a little bit longer, and this seat post is also a little bit wider, and of course it has square tube caps in it. Otherwise, this is basically what you're looking at for a Tough Trike, and this is the exact same as you would get today for a Comp Trike. So main differences are the Tough Trike is a little bit more robust. You can handle tandems on it. So you do get the tandem capability. You have a little bit more length adjustment. So right here you've got 4 different positions, since you've got 5 holes. So 4 different positions in length that'll extend out 4.5 inches. So that's a good bit of adjustment for the length here. You've also got a wider rear axle. And then typically these are being sold with the larger fat tires, so they're 4-inch wide tires. You can get these with the skinny tires, just the same ones that are on the Comp Trike, but for the purpose of this trike, it makes more sense to go with the standard tires. For the purpose of this trike, it definitely makes more sense to go with the skinny tires. So I'll show you the difference in width here. Maybe I'll turn it like this. So you can see center to center, the Comp Trike is a good bit narrower. It helps keep the moment of inertia very small, so you can change direction very quickly. The trike doesn't lag behind you nearly as much. So all of my trikes are built to be very much like foot launch, and they do both feel very much like foot launch. You'll really see the difference in how it feels in the air between this and this once you start getting into barrel rolls or sats or some really big wing overs. This is wing overs just fine. Barrel rolls, you probably would want one of these. You can do them, but if you're on a really spicy wing, just having more weight out farther on that trike, you're going to feel it. This right here, you can rip barrel rolls and it's like it's not even there. It's extremely nice to fly when you're in the air. You do get a lot more of adjustability with the Tough Trike though. So for most pilots, for a new pilot, certainly if you've never flown a trike before, this is the one you should be looking at. It's 35 pounds with all the mounting hardware, and this is 19. So there is a big difference in weight, but you actually don't feel very much in the air at all as far as difference in weight, unless you start doing barrel rolls, where you will see a difference. You do have adjustable width of the rear here. So if I adjust this out to the wider setting, it's not quite as much of a difference between the two. I personally like to keep the narrower setting, but I know most people actually fly with the wider setting. It doesn't make much of a difference, but I like to get the best handling I can. So there you can see the difference when it's in the wide setting. And you have an adjustable height seat post. The height of the seat post has changed a little bit, so today's Tough Trikes do have a little bit taller of a seat post because there are more units out there that are 150 centimeter frames. They lift the harness a little bit higher up because of that, and so you need a higher seat support. So you have 5 different adjustments to the seat height on this. That fitment is actually a little bit tighter too nowadays, whereas you have a single seat height on your Comp Trike. So the Comp Trike is really designed for it's like the Tough Trike does everything well. It does a very good job of everything. But this does one thing extremely well. And this is very, very fun to throw around. It's very low drag, it's very low weight. It's great for acro, it's great for competitions. That's what this is designed for. This is designed for your everyday pilot, the Tough Trike. So you'll see a good bit of a difference in the design philosophy in terms of forks. So straight away you can see the size difference. One, that fork has to be capable of taking tandem loads with passengers sitting almost right on the fork. So it's a beefy fork. This is quite a strong fork actually, especially since everything's kept tight. The lengths of everything are shorter equals stiffer, stronger. But at the same time, this fork is significantly lighter weight than that. The design philosophy was, let's keep all the weight as centralized as possible, so when you're throwing it around, it doesn't have very much momentum, rotational inertia. This does a great job at that, actually, too. Surprisingly really good, a lot better than most of the stuff on the market, but this is phenomenal for that. So you don't get any steering springs to help you out to keep the wheel centered, and you don't get any caster either. There's another change here. You'll notice that it's a little squeaky on this one. This is one of the first ones. And I do now use 2 nylon washers, one up on the top and one on the bottom, that gets rid of the squeak. But anyways, this is basically just wide enough to fit your feet. If you have really wide feet, you might have to turn them a little bit. I am going to widen these out, but they won't be quite as wide as the Tough Trike pegs. This is absolutely all you need to get off the ground. It does perfectly fine in taxiing, but it is a little bit more skittish than this is. If you want to do high-speed taxiing or land on a mountaintop and ride it around, this is going to be better for that. It has a lot of caster to it, and then you also get 2 springs that'll help you out keeping the wheel centered. You can land this one without your feet on it at all, and it'll be perfectly fine. This one, you'll want to have your feet on it. Probably not the end of the world if you don't, honestly, but ideally you keep your feet on that one. You do have length adjustment on this, but you only have 3 positions. So it's a little bit different on the length adjustment. Overall, it's slightly shorter. It's not much of a difference. So this is on setting 2 of 4, 1 being the farthest back and 4 being the farthest forward. And this is on the shortest setting. So I'll just go ahead and put this on the short setting as well so you can see the differences in length. Now, I don't have my mounting on here, but these use the exact same mounting. It's 4 highly adjustable pods. I've shown them in other videos that I have up on YouTube as well. So lengthwise, this is just ever so slightly shorter. It's not much, actually. It's very, very close. But you don't get quite the full extent of length because you can lengthen this out more. Let's put this, it's going to be hard to tell on camera. So it's like an inch shorter. It's not much. But this one right here, it's extraordinarily lightweight. The Tough Trike's not bad, 35 pounds. It's pretty close to what most light trikes are. But it's definitely a lot heavier than the Comp Trike. So those are the main differences. This is going to be for students. It's fantastic for students. If you tend to, not have great launches and landings, this will take a beating just fine. That will take a beating too, but not to the same extent that this will. I've purposely tested both of them in very, very harsh conditions. So this one I've come out with trims out all the way and just let it smack into the ground several times, bounce like 6 feet in the air. It's a hard impact and nothing happens to the trike. It's perfectly fine. I've done the same on that and actually the same. Nothing happens to the trike. Everything's perfectly fine. You bounce and everything's fine. But I've also tested this all the way to failure. I don't think I could test this to failure. It's that strong. I don't think there's anything I could do without killing myself that would seriously hurt this. I've taken that in a sharp turn and come down very hard and smacked into the ground, and I was able to break the axles on that. So it's possible to break that, but you really have to crash it very hard. Whereas this one is, you just absolutely don't have to worry about anything on it. That's very robust still. It's still a tough trike. You'd be hard pressed to break it, and there are several people who have hit very hard on these and have been impressed with how well it holds up. Yeah, so those are the main differences between the two models. This, I will say also, is meant to break down for travel very well. So these axles come out. It's also, this is stainless steel and carbon fiber and fiberglass. So these are fiberglass tube axles on the rear. You can pull these out. You can pull the front out too. It breaks down very small. So if you take these out, this will break down like that, very, very small. Meanwhile, this is going to break down perfectly well enough. But if you're shipping it, if you travel overseas for competitions and stuff, then that would be ideal for you. This one right here, I have delivered three tough trikes and a comp trike in my Honda Fit. So this will break down well enough for anybody that's not trying to ship it on a regular basis. So this breaks down just like that. So as far as breaking down for shipping, you can pull the wheels off, they just unclip. But this breaks down very nice. You can put it in like a 22-inch by 10-inch by 10-inch box, I believe. This goes into a 58 by like 16 by 10 box. So that'll break down significantly smaller. A lot of people have asked me, are concerned about the carbon fiber. This stuff's really thick. This is 2.5 millimeter carbon fiber. This is not a wrap. This is legitimate, real carbon fiber. It's very high strength stuff. And the way that I do this, there's a lug in here basically. So there's a stainless steel lug that goes up 2.5 inches or so in here. And same thing right here. So from this part to right here, it's just carbon fiber tube, but the stainless steel does go in here, and it's sanded down for good bonding on both parts. I use my lathes to get these parts to the exact bond line thickness that they need to be, and they are epoxied with some very high strength infinity bond, the equivalent of Scotch Weld DP420. So very high strength stuff. Yeah, this is total blast to fly. This flies very well as well. Great for students, great for adjustability, bigger guys. This is best for competitions and acro.